If you write your dreams down on paper, they'll come true. Sounds familiar, right? I bet you've heard that line at least once in your life. You might say, that's ridiculous, or, there's no way something like that would actually work. But, have you ever secretly written your dreams on a piece of paper, stuck it on your desk, or maybe even on your bathroom wall? Yeah, I've been there too. Guilty as charged. Actually, that idea is half wrong, and half right. You're probably thinking, wait, what do you mean by half? Don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what I mean. Today, I want to dive into this book with you, The Magic of Memos. Hi there, I'm Ace, here to introduce a fantastic book made in Japan. This one, The Magic of Memos, was the best-selling business book in Japan in 2019, selling over 700,000 copies. Back then, if you went to a bookstore, you couldn't miss it. It was stacked everywhere and was a huge topic of conversation. And even now, it's still selling strong, on track to surpass 800,000 copies soon. The author is Yuji Maeda, currently 44 years old and the CEO of Showroom Inc. He is one of Japan's well-known entrepreneurs. He is also well known for having dated the popular actress Satomi Ishihara. Well, these days. I'll let you figure it out. What has become a hallmark of Maeda is the memo, which is even the title of his book. He is also famous as a note-taking enthusiast, always carrying a notebook and jotting down various things. What Maeda conveys in this book is that taking notes can change your life. He says that through the years of note-taking he has practiced, he has been able to achieve his dreams and live a fulfilling life. Maeda lost his parents when he was 8 and shared both hardships and joys with his older brother, who was 10 years his senior. As an elementary school student, he would often cry himself to sleep every night, feeling despair over his disadvantaged circumstances compared to others. He believed that children from wealthier families, who could afford cram schools, had an advantage in studying. Motivated by the stark differences caused by his environment, he studied desperately. Out of these experiences, the memo was born. Maeda says that this practice of taking notes has shaped who he is today. What I'm going to explain from here are these 3 points. Number 1. Memos can turn ordinary daily life into countless ideas. Number 2. The correct way to take notes. Number 3. Achieving your dreams by understanding yourself. Alright, let's get started. The first point is this. Memos can turn ordinary daily life into countless ideas. But first, let me ask you, do you actually take notes? You probably do, right? Maybe when you're on the phone for work, or when you jot down a shopping list before going to the supermarket. You might even be thinking, hey, I take notes too. And you're absolutely right. Just like me, we all take notes in our everyday lives. However, the kind of memo Maeda talks about is not just a record. It's what he calls a memo for intellectual creation. Of course, Maeda says that taking notes to record meetings or discussions is important, but that alone won't change your life. So then, what exactly is a memo for intellectual creation? In short, it's a memo for generating ideas. In fact, the business Maeda runs, Showroom, was also born from his memos for intellectual creation. Let's take a look at Showroom's business as an example. Maeda emphasizes that the process of fact right-pointing arrow abstraction right-pointing arrow application is crucial when taking notes. He says this flow is the key to turning ordinary observations into valuable ideas. Maeda lost his parents at a young age, and to make a living, he used to play the guitar and sing on the streets near train stations when he was an elementary school student. During those days, he would take notes on things he noticed, such as his favorite chord progressions and how people reacted to his performances. For example, when you sing a cover song, more people stop to listen than when you sing your own original. If you take song requests from those people, you start to build a stronger connection with them. And once that connection is made, when you perform your original song, they're more willing to tip you. These notes are based on Maeda's real-life experiences, they're facts. And when you abstract these facts, here's what they turn into. To build a connection, two-way interaction is key. People don't pay for a great performance, they pay for the bond. For me, I call this kind of abstraction a hypothesis. It's basically the idea of, maybe there's a possibility this works this way. Once you've come up with a hypothesis, the final step is application, putting it into action. Build an online system that enables two-way communication and helps create real emotional connections. Through that, artists can grow their fanbase and make money by their own efforts. And that's exactly what Showroom is all about. In other words, the way most of us take notes is just about recording facts, nothing more. We jot things down so we don't forget them or to remember what we've learned. And that's usually where it ends. But Maeda says that's not enough. He believes that by abstracting those facts and then applying them, your notes can actually gain real value. What do you think? Pretty interesting, right? Honestly, I've never gone that far myself. In fact, I'm the kind of person who even finds it annoying to just write down the facts. But after reading this book, I couldn't help thinking, maybe I've been missing out on ideas that could have led to a new business model, or even made my life richer. And that thought, honestly, feels like such a waste. But doesn't this raise a new question? Sure, we can write down the facts, but how exactly do we abstract them? Alright, leave it to me. Let me break it down for you in a super easy way. Here, Maeda introduces two key methods: asking yourself, how, and asking, why. So, what does it actually mean to ask, how? Let's think about it through a familiar example, Pokémon. One of Japan's most iconic games, Pocket Monsters, or Pokémon, is all about catching your own monsters and helping them grow stronger through battles so you can defeat powerful bosses. Each monster has what's called a type, like water, grass, or fire. Basically, fish-like Pokémon are water types, and plant-looking ones are grass types. You get the idea. And each Pokémon type has its strengths and weaknesses. For example, a fire-type Pokémon doesn't do much damage when it attacks another fire type. After all, fire against fire doesn't make much sense, right? The same goes for rock or dragon types, not very effective. But when it comes to grass, ice, or bug types, fire Pokémon are super powerful. I mean, come on, grass and bugs burning in flames? That just makes sense. So in short, there's a fact: when you attack based on the opponent's type, the effect becomes stronger. So, let's ask ourselves, how? What kind of mechanics or features does this game have? And the abstract answer that comes out of that is, change your attack strategy depending on your opponent. Now, let's take a step back and think. Could this idea apply to situations beyond the world of Pokémon? And as we'll see later, when it comes to the next step, you can create your own application. For example, in a job interview, you should adjust the stories you share depending on the interviewer's personality and what the company is looking for. In this way, the how approach focuses on one key thing: thinking about what features or characteristics a particular situation has. Next, let's look at the why approach. This is all about asking, why is that? For example, a product suddenly skyrockets in sales. Why did that happen? A movie becomes a huge hit. What's behind that success? You can't stop noticing a new billboard in town. Why is that? When you ask these questions, coming up with a hypothesis that could apply to other situations is what we call abstraction. Or put another way, it's about thinking about the essence of a specific situation. So, let's take a moment to think about this topic together and practice abstracting. Right now in Japan, the movie Demon Slayer is a massive hit overseas. So, let's use the why approach and try to abstract it. If you have a few minutes, pause here and spend about 3 minutes thinking about it. So, how did you do? Were you able to abstract it? For me, I thought about why Demon Slayer is such a huge hit overseas. Maybe it's because it features Japanese-style combat with yokai, demons, and swords. something unique to Japan that fascinates people abroad. From there, I abstracted it to this idea. If you not only adapt to your audience's culture but also include elements from foreign cultures, people get excited and curious. I'm not saying this is the correct answer, but doesn't it seem like something you could apply in other situations? As you can see, this isn't just about Demon Slayer. Maeda emphasizes the importance of looking at things from a perspective like this, asking yourself if the same idea could apply to other movies or genres as well. Finally, let's talk about application. If you've been following along, you probably already get it. Application means taking the abstraction you came up with and applying it to other concrete situations. It's about thinking in terms of reproducibility and versatility. For example, with Demon Slayer, the abstract idea was, if you not only adapt to a country's culture but also include elements from foreign cultures, people get more excited and curious. I decided to apply this idea to this very YouTube channel. This channel aims to share the charm of Japanese books with curious and motivated people around the world. Just as there are countless amazing books in your country, Japan is full of wonderful works waiting to be discovered. However, the reality is that chances to learn about Japanese books are still quite limited for most people outside Japan. But have you ever wondered what kind of mindset Japanese people have, and what they value in their daily lives? I believe there are many things we share in common. Still, discovering unique Japanese ways of thinking or seeing things from a new cultural perspective can be really exciting, don't you think? That's why I started this channel, to create opportunities for you to explore Japanese culture through books, so you can feel inspired and bring fresh ideas into your own daily life. So, what do you think? I'd say I've done a pretty good job applying the success of Demon Slayer to this YouTube channel that I'm running, the one that introduces Japanese books to the world. Not bad, right? As Maeda explains, taking notes effectively means following the flow of fact, abstraction, application. By taking notes this way, your memos won't just be simple records anymore. Instead, they'll become a powerful tool that can turn ordinary moments into endless ideas. So, how should we actually lay out our notes? You're curious about that part, right? Next, let's talk about the proper way to take notes. Basically, Maeda says there's no single correct style. You can choose whatever format fits your way of thinking. But since that answer might feel a bit too open-ended, let's take a quick look at how Maeda himself takes notes as an example. Number 1. Use both pages of your notebook as a spread. That way, you can see the whole picture at once. It feels more organized and easier to review later. Number 2. On the left page, write down the facts. On the right page, write the abstractions and applications. You can imagine drawing a vertical line down the center of the right page, the left half for abstraction, and the right half for application. Now, if you only fill in the left page with facts, the right page will look strangely empty, right? And because of human nature, we kind of feel an urge to fill that blank space. Maeda intentionally uses this psychological trick to encourage deeper thinking. Number 3. In the beginning, don't worry too much about what to write. If it's a meeting, for example, just write down every comment you hear, capture everything first. That's pretty much it. See? There aren't any strict rules, it feels totally doable, right? As for me, the moment I finished reading this book, I went straight out and bought a notebook and a 4-color pen. Ha ha. If you try to take notes on everything, you'll just end up exhausted, and it's hard to stay motivated that way. So maybe it's better to set specific times for note-taking, like only during meetings or for a fixed period of time each day. Lastly, I will explain the third point, achieving your dreams by knowing yourself. Along with the importance of taking notes, I feel that this is the message Mr. Maeda wanted to convey the most. You might be thinking, well, I already know who I am and what kind of person I am. But is that really true? Mr. Maeda has written down 1,000 questions about himself in his notebook, following the method of fact right-pointing arrow abstraction right-pointing arrow application. He has filled more than 30 notebooks in total. That's an incredible amount of effort, isn't it? Honestly, I don't think I could go that far. And I bet you feel the same way, right? However, according to Mr. Maeda, even if you answer just 100 questions, you'll start to understand what truly brings you joy and what gives your life meaning. So, he says there's no need to push yourself to reach 1000. These days, I often hear people say, I don't really know what I want to do. How about you? But if you try the method we talked about earlier, not 1000, but just 100 self-reflection questions, you'll start to see who you really are, and what truly excites you. That's what Maeda-san says, too. By the way, those 1000 self-reflection questions are listed at the end of the book. They're divided into categories like dreams, family, personality, and experiences, and they help you reflect on your past, from your elementary school days to the present, and even into the future. For example, what was your dream when you were in elementary school? What were you proud of in junior high? What did you think was your weakness in high school? Who influenced you the most in college? What kind of younger people do you get along with now? And so on. Why not take a moment to organize your answers in a notebook? So far, we've talked about number 1. How memos can turn ordinary days into countless ideas. Number 2. The right way to take notes, and number 3. How understanding yourself can help you achieve your dreams. Has your idea of what a memo is changed a bit? At the beginning of this video, I said, if you write your dream on paper, it will come true. That's half wrong and half right. Now, I think you understand why. Writing your dreams down can surely motivate you, that's true. But motivation alone doesn't show you how to make your dreams come true. What's missing is abstraction and application, turning insights into action. Having passion is important, but within our limited time, we also need to know what to do next. And that's where memos become your strongest ally. So, do you have your pen? Do you have your notebook? Let's take this new weapon called memo and start facing ourselves again from today. Alright, that's it for today. Have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.